Hello.
What's happening?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you, ma'am?
I am doing well. And you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Now say your name for me. I may have said it wrong. Is it Mia Lisa?
You were close. It's me, Alyssa.
Those two S's throw me off every single time. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Mia Lisa Tompkins. Mia Lisa is a realtor, and you've been watching all week, so you know how this goes, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you bio. I'm about to drop back and take some notes. So the floor is yours. Do what you do.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Mia Lisa Tompkins. I am with Weichert Realtors McKenna and Vane in Maryland, Columbia, Maryland. And today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how to deal with the real estate market with this new development with COVID-19. So I think you're saying to yourself, at the end of 2019, you were like, you know what, 2020 is my year to buy a house, and boom, COVID-19 arrives. What do we do now? What happens? Well, I'm here to tell you about that, okay? So for one, here in Maryland, real estate has not died with COVID-19. We're still working. We have state regulations, state standards that we have to abide by to show you homes, and also if a person were to list a home. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to focus more so on the buying process because a lot of people would like to know about that and to get prepared for that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're thinking about whether or not it's a good time to buy right now is first consider, with COVID-19, has your income drastically reduced? If it has, you may want to take a little bit of a pause, and you may want to just find the items or the things that you need to prepare to get ready, because COVID-19, this is not going to last forever. At some point in time, it's going to be gone, and then we're going to have to move about our lives as normal. So with that being said, the first thing you want to do, you want to be aware of your credit score. You can do that by following it on freecredit.com, Credit Karma, things of that nature. And that's going to give you an idea of what your credit score is. But after that, you're going to either reach out to a realtor like myself, and from there, I'm going to ask you, have you consulted a lender? I can refer some lenders to you, or you can find a lender of your own choice. And what you're going to do, you're going to talk with the lender about gaining or obtaining a pre-approval. Yes, you may know your credit score, but the mortgage lender is going to look at other factors such as your salary, your debt to income ratio, any alimony or child support payments that you may have to pay, and how that affects your salary and your budget. They're going to look at whether or not you would like to have a co-buyer, whether if you're getting married, or if you are married, if you're going to use both you and your spouse's credit for that. And they're going to be able to give you some tips with that. What they're going to do, they're going to assess, they're going to look at your whole package. They're going to tell you how much you pre-qualify for, and they're going to suggest the best types of loans that will be available for you, which will either be a conventional loan, a FHA loan, or if you're in the military, a VA loan. And there are all different sorts of things with that. From there, once you receive your pre-approval letter, then you're going to come back to me, and we're going to talk about having a buyer's consultation. The buyer's consultation is really important because I am going to talk with you about your contract with the broker, Weichert Realtors, or whoever you choose to work with. We're going to talk about things such as, how we're going to find homes. Do you want new construction? Do you want a resale home? We're going to talk about the type of home that you desire, the location. That's something to consider. Do you want to be somewhere close to your job? Do you want to be somewhere close to your child's daycare or your child's school? Do you want to be close to family? If you are with your spouse, you want to be located somewhere between where you work and where your spouse works. There's a lot to consider with that. From there, we're also going to consider how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms do you need? What type of home structure are you looking for? Are you looking for a condo? Are you looking for a townhome? Are you looking for a single family detached? Do you want to cut grass? Do you want to entertain outside? Do you want to be able to not really have a yard to deal with? So those are all types of things that are important for you to consider in the purchase of your home. You're also going to think about, like, what part of your home are you going to spend the most time in? You know, if you like to cook, the kitchen is going to be pretty important to you, especially if you have a large family. Do you want to eat in kitchen? Do you need a dining room? Do you want the kitchen that has the extra large island? All of those things we're going to go over with you. From there, I create a list based on what your lender has said is your pre-approval. We're also going to consider your budget. The most that you can afford monthly to pay on for a house is going to be the ultimate price of the house that you're purchasing. And so we're going to consider all of that. We're going to come up with a list of homes that are available for you. You take a look at that list online, and then from there, you will select some houses that you would like to see in person. Now, I hear what you're saying. Okay, well, COVID-19, how does that work? Some changes that we have made, we've always kind of had these things available, but they're important now more than ever with COVID-19. So you can do a virtual tour of the home where there are pictures, and on the listing, you're able to kind of zoom through the pictures and get an idea of what the home looks like. Also, I have actually gone to homes. I have taped the walkthrough. I have sent it back to the buyer. They take a look at it, and they determine whether or not they want to take a second look. But I have to tell you, there's nothing like you actually being in the home. And so we've taken great precautions. We have footies for you to wear so that you're not tracking in any types of germs or mud or anything on the floor or the flooring of the home. We have hand sanitizer that's available. We have wet wipes. We have all sorts of things, because you're going to need to actually be in that home. You're going to need to feel the flow of the home. You're going to need to look around and see if certain things such as the closet space works out for you, or the arrangement of the basement, or even the layout of the home, if it works for you. So you have to be there and be involved in that process. Once we find a home that you absolutely love, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write an offer. I'm going to talk with you about the different comps in the neighborhood, how much the average home has sold that's similar to the one that you're looking at. We're going to look at the list price, and then we're going to think about the price that you would like to offer on the home. Some things we have to consider: have other people looked at this home? Are other people putting in an offer on the home? We want to make sure that we put a package together so that you'll win this offer, so that your offer will be selected, and so that you would be in consideration to go under contract for this home. Once you're under contract, there's about a 30 to 45 day process that we're going to embark upon to make that home yours. So now that we're under contract, we have permission to go in and do what is called a home inspection. Again, with COVID-19, what we've been doing is that the home inspectors, they have been going through the homes, and they've been taking video of the home inspection, and they will send you an inspection report of the things that are wrong with the home. Everything that you need to know about that home, you will know about it. It is best if you're actually there, so that the home inspector can point out some things to you about the home in regards to where the fuse boxes are, how different appliances in the home work, and things of that nature. But we also have an option that you can participate at a distance during this time. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the list of items that the home inspector has found, and we're going to kind of evaluate what's most important to you. Things that are cosmetic, that's not something that the seller is required to fix for you. But we can do some negotiating. If you don't like the carpet, we can find out if we can do a carpet credit, and they can offer you a credit for carpet. But that's also dependent upon what your offer entails. If you're asking for seller help, contribution towards settlement costs, we're going to have a little bit more difficulty with negotiating something about the carpet. So that's just something to think about. After we do your home inspection, your lender is going to want to protect you by calling in an appraiser. The appraiser comes in and they take a look at the home and they assess what the value of the home is. They do this to make sure that you're not overpaying for the value of a home. Who wants to pay more than what something is worth, especially something that you're going to be with and living in for quite some time? We want to make sure that you're getting the best value for your home and that your pricing is correct. And so your lender does this to protect you for that. Now, let me backtrack just a little bit. Financially, you are responsible for paying for your home inspection. You are responsible for paying for your appraisal. Sometimes your appraisal is not necessarily being paid upon initiation of the appraisal. It could be paid for at the settlement table when you settle on your home, when you have your settlement costs for signing for your home. Once the appraisal comes back and we find out the value of your home, that's when you find out whether or not you have more equity. So your home is worth more than what you offered, and that's great because we're under contract. However, if your home is worth less than what you have offered, then we have to go back to the seller and we have to renegotiate the terms. Sometimes, a lot of times, the seller will comply and will go ahead with the lower cost, make the negotiation, make the adjustment, and we're able to go to settlement. But there are times when, for example, I just experienced this where I had buyers, they were ready to go. We were going to go to settlement. The appraisal came back and the value of the home was $50,000 less than what they offered. The seller decided to decline and not put their home on the market until that time period has expired and the market increases and goes back up. So I had to start the process with my buyers all over again. And we're in the process of finding a home for them again. So it's rare that that happens, but it is possible. And when that does happen, again, you know, you're kind of sad. You have to move on. And you have to just get back out there and find what you're looking for and what's best for you. After we go to settlement, we sit there, you sign all your paperwork, you find out the terms, you know, what date your mortgage is due on, things of that nature. And then after that, I hand you your keys. We have a great party and we congratulate you on the purchase of your new home. So in a nutshell, I've wrapped up for you what the buying process is. I want to give you some tips, just a couple of tips, some things to think about. Your transaction is your own. So if you've discussed with family who may have purchased prior to you buying and they're comparing the process, there may be some things about your process, about your circumstances that are different than the circumstances of your loved one who's telling you the process of buying. So just remember, your process is your own because of your circumstances and because it's your transaction. Also, you want to make sure that you consult the realtor as the professional. The realtor is going to keep you abreast of what's going on in the market. The realtor is going to advise you. The realtor is going to give you some great advice. So please make sure that you're maintaining a great relationship with your realtor because we're going to look out for you and we're going to do what's best for you. And we can't make any decision without your input and your blessing. So you have a pretty tight-knit, close relationship with your lender. Your second best friend, with your realtor, your second best friend is your lender because your lender is going to be constantly talking with you about the process, about documents that are needed to prove your finances. Things such as, please, now that you're under contract, do not decide to go and open up a loan for furniture. You do that after you have signed off on your paperwork and other tips like that. So in a nutshell, I have wrapped up the home buying process for you and how we go about this. If you're not in the market to buy, one thing that you definitely want to do, you want to keep up with your credit score. You want to definitely, if you need to consult a lender, the lender can tell you. They're going to have to run your credit. Don't be afraid. But if the lender runs your credit, he's not only running your credit to know what your credit score is, but they are also going to take a look at, as I stated before, aspects of your debt to income ratio and different things that are going to determine the amount that you pre-qualify for or not. Sometimes when the lender runs your paperwork, if it comes back with a number that you don't like, they give you tips and things that you can do to increase that number or to increase your credit score. So we're all working hand in hand to help you reach your goal. My motto is that I help you make real estate dreams your reality. And that is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy working with families to help them to reach their goals. And that's pretty much it with the home buying process.
Well, I was still taking some notes. Let me just say that was actually pretty tight. You walked through about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months worth of activity in 15 minutes. and thank you so much, but we all know that is not as cut and dry as what you said, but those are great highlights to have everybody ready to go into the market. You listed, could you go over your tips once again? I've got 2, I think you gave 3 tips.
Yes. Okay. So the first tip is, remember, your transaction is your own. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
No, just run through.
Okay. So the 3 tips. Your transaction is your own. Make sure that you consult a professional that you trust. Okay. And also, the third one, I did miss it. Be patient with your process. Trust the process. I know it's scary. I know it's uncertain. But be patient in your process, because in the end, it really is going to benefit you, and you're going to absolutely love what you have done and what you have selected.
There you go. I thought I missed the third one, but I don't want any audience to miss any of them. And when we're finished, if you wouldn't mind going back and dropping those back in the line, just those 3 tips. So we're about sharing information and sharing how to get this process. Your first statement actually was shocking to someone who's not in the market to buy the house, is that you said the market is still, I won't say, is it hot or is it just still running?
This is a buyer's market right now. So basically what that means is that if you are a buyer, you can qualify for a home and you're looking to find a home, you're going to find something. There's something out there for everybody. Now, I will say that the inventory is low. So if you're going to purchase something, you have to move fast. You have to be ready to move quickly. I'll give you an example. I'm working with the buyer right now. He gave me the address of a home that he wanted to look at. He told me that we could go take a look at the home on Saturday. I made the appointment yesterday. I received an email this morning. That home is gone. It's off the market.
Oh, wow.
So the idea is, if you see something, you might want to try to go see that home as soon as possible, because right now, again, with COVID-19, people are kind of uncertain, but when they see something, they're like, hey, we got to get out here and we have to go right now, because there may be 2 or 3 other families that are looking at that same home. And so,
And I think too, and again, one thing because I work in a retail space and business, I'm affected by who's not at work, but usually when people aren't at work for where I work, there's usually like a government shutdown, which means the government people ain't getting paid. This time it's some world stuff and they're still getting paid. They're still online shopping, whatever, which means they're probably still buying. And now I got 2 people at home who are not able to get to the buying decision, and now virtually, because I do it virtually. This is what you're saying, right?
Right. So there are some things that we can do virtually.
Right.
But I still recommend you braving coming out into the public, going to see the homes. before this happened, if I were to take you out and look at homes, we'd probably go see 3 or 4.
Right.
But the way everything is going right now, I will normally advise a buyer and say, listen, I want you to find the absolute one home that you just really have to see. And we limit it to just one now, because of everything that's going on.
That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. So people out there getting together, and it is a scary process, because now you have to open up and look at stuff. And what you're saying is, don't be afraid of that piece. If it needs to be handled, get it handled, right? Get
Yes.
with you or the credit repair professionals. Speak to that, Mark, because you hear a lot of stuff on TV about we can do this and you can do that. What is the real on getting your credit repaired and restored?
The real is, I am a realtor. I am not a financial professional.
Right.
So I am going to always defer back to your lender. Go talk to a lender first before you see me. If you come to me first, I'm going to refer you to a lender. But either way, we got to know about the finances before we can go through the process. That lender is the financial professional. They're going to tell you exactly what's going on with your credit score. They're going to be the one to refer you to a credit repair person that they're working with. Or if they don't refer you to someone, I have a couple of professionals that I have worked with, and I know that they're going to give you the real deal. Again, it depends on what you're able to do. And it depends on, there are very many people looking from all different states. Your basic credit score should be a 620. The higher your credit score, the better interest rate that you can get on your home. So I can't really say to you, hey, you should wait until you get this particular score. But I will say that the basic is a 620 here in Maryland.
In Maryland, got you. Are you also able to do DC?
I am not able to do DC. I am looking to go into DC. For Maryland, I can cover the entire state. I mainly go anywhere from Hartford County as far south as Charles County. My DC license is coming. I really haven't, in my market, haven't had people who want to go into DC, because my office is out of Columbia. So I'm like in the middle of everything.
Sure.
But I definitely have some people in the DC market to refer them to if they're interested in going into DC.
You dabble in Baltimore at all?
I dabble in Baltimore.
Yeah, I know people out here, man, we about to have a whole nother conversation. What's the market like? Give me the real on the market in Baltimore. We hear.
Oh.
Baltimore.
Baltimore is an interesting market because you have a lot of older homes that are being rehabbed. You don't really have a lot of new construction. If you do, it's kind of along with the development that's going on. And so you have the opportunity to find a lot of nice opportunities in Baltimore City. It's just dependent upon where you want to be, what part, east versus west, north versus, I'm not a Baltimore native, but I kind of know, like, oh, I want to be over east. Okay, we're gonna have to look, over here and that portion and that part. And it has pockets of things that, you can be on one block and everybody's home value on that block is lovely, it's great, and then you could go around the corner and it could be a totally different story. So in the Baltimore market, you have to be very patient, but there are opportunities out there, and I have helped some buyers get into some absolutely beautiful, lovely homes in Baltimore City. So what I would tell people is don't shy away. And there are a lot of programs in Baltimore City that can help buyers get into a home.
That was leading into my next question. I know it may vary for whoever watching, but what can you tell our buyers, your buyers, my people watching, to look for? You mentioned programs, and I think sometimes we overlook the one or two things we know about, but there's a rack of things behind it. How do you go about telling people to start researching these programs?
Again, talk to your lender, because your lender is going to qualify you based on your credit score, and there are going to be some limitations with income. There are going to be some limitations with household. You may have to take a class prior to you starting the buying process for you to qualify for the grant program. So the best thing to do would be to consult your lender. Maryland has the Maryland Mortgage Program. So, if you want to research that online, the Maryland Mortgage Program, that program helps to come up with some closing cost assistance, because what you have to understand is you get pre-qualified for a loan. You need to have money for down payment. But when it comes to your settlement costs are normally, I would say, about 4% of the value of the house. And those costs go towards the lawyers and everything in the backdrop, doing the research about the house, making sure that the house is even sellable. Does the seller have any liens and things on the house? You don't want to inherit that. So what we're able to do is that if the buyer does not have $15,000 towards settlement, they can borrow off of their loan with that. And we can also negotiate with the seller to give them a certain percentage from the profit to help them settle into the home. So, that's kind of one of the things that is different for each buyer. So, I'm covering it, but I can't go much into detail because it does depend on each person's circumstances.
Right, and I appreciate that. Again, this is just high level knowledge to tell people to go look. And number one thing is get with your professional and start this conversation so you can get specific.
Don't be scared. I know a lot of people, they say, oh, I have to talk to the lender. Are they going to run my credit? My credit is going to take a hit. Well, it's going to take a hit anyway. You need to know, you need to be informed so that you can know what to work on and what to do. Or, hey, you might not think you're ready and you actually are. So you just never know, but you got to consult a professional.
Awesome. All right. So let everybody know where they can find you in the Maryland area. If they have some more questions for you specifically or in need of your services, where can they grab you and find you?
Sure. So my office is in Columbia. It's Weichert, McKenna, and Vane. The easiest way to find me, though, is on Facebook, Mia Lissa Tompkins, Maryland salesperson. Or even easier way to find me, if you're on Instagram, just look up Mia Moves Real Estate and you can find me there.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for coming on and dropping that knowledge on us. Make sure you put all that intel on the comment line so people who are in need can contact you further or refer them out or whatever, how that works in the backdrop. But thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye.